You are welcome to today's class. I am Folashade Afolabi, your course facilitator for ECE 124, Science in Early Childhood Education. Science in Early Childhood Education. In today's class, we will start with Studies Section 1. Studies Section 1, and the topic that we are going to consider is meaning and importance of science. Meaning and importance of science. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to define science according to any two scholars you can remember. Define science in your own words. List and explain any form importance of science that you can remember. Mention and explain any 5 roles of science in your society. Discuss any 5 attributes of science. Meaning of science. Science simply means human activities that are testable and verifiable. There are different definitions of science as given by different scholars based on how each scholar viewed science. Let us look at definitions of by scholars. Karl Popper, 1902 to 1994, defines science as a systematic body of knowledge. Eni Osho, 2009, defines science as an organized body of knowledge, a set of logical and empirical methods for the systematic investigation and understanding of natural phenomena and an enterprise for the application of scientific knowledge. Bossari, 2006, defines science as the dynamic nature of knowledge. Dube, 1967, reported that physicists define science as the knowledge of the natural world obtained and the sense of interaction with the world. Ogunniyi, 1986, defines science as an attempt by human beings to organize their experiences about nature into meaningful system of explanation. Ogunleye, 2000, defines science as a body of knowledge and an ongoing process of inquiry. Babajide, 2003, defines science as human activities in search of food, shelter, clothing, and basic human needs and human survival. From the definition of science by scholar, you can see that science can be viewed from 3 different perspectives, which are science as a content of ideas, facts, theories, laws, and principles. 2. Science as a process of inquiry. 3. Science as a product of investigation, finished product, such as shelter, food, clothing, cars, cream, machines, and other things that make life enjoyable. Combining all these perspectives together, science can be defined as an organized and systematic activities of man in search of basic amenities to make life habitable, comfortable, and enjoyable, with no stress to solve man's problem. Having familiar with different definitions of science, what are the characteristics you can identify with science? Characteristics from the definitions given by scholars. 1. Accumulated body of knowledge. 2. Logical. 3. Systematic. 4. Human activities. 5. Testable. 6. Verifiable. And this will lead us to the importance of science in the society. Science is an important subject because of its important role in the society and in national development. It is made compulsory from the pre-primary school curriculum to junior secondary school curriculum. The following are the significant areas where science has made significant contributions. 1. Development of society. Science helps to develop society, country, and nation. Any society that supports the practice of science allows synergy between science and technology. Such society will be termed developed society, country, or nation. On the other hand, any society that does not allow science to be practiced will be underdeveloped. Science is standing alone and society is also standing alone. Therefore, there is no development in such society. That is, in any society where science stands on its own and then society stands on its own, there cannot be any development in that society. But where there is a collaboration or what we call synergy between the society and science, there will be development. 2, science brings improvement into the sector of education. The knowledge of science gave rise to modern materials used in schools to make teaching and learning easier and effective. E.g., materials such as computers, public address system used in teaching large classes, pen board, replaced chalkboard. Others are interactive boards, projectors, television, radios, and so on and so forth. 3, improvement in health sector. The sector has witnessed tremendous improvement in the following areas: preventive medicine, curative measures, improvement in antenatal and postnatal, improvement in surgical operations, improvement in drug prescription and administration, development in communication sector. Science has brought about the invention of different means of communication gadgets, such as different types of phones, digital computer, fax, telegram. The use of internet facilities has made the whole world a global village where everyone can link up with one another. You can communicate with everyone in the world within a twinkle of an eye with the use of information and communication technology, ICT, and artificial intelligence. This is a great improvement. Development in the sector of agriculture. Science has brought about mechanization of agriculture. Farmers now farm on a larger scale using machines, tractors to cultivate land, make ridges, plant, process what has been planted, harvest, and store the product with good storing facilities. In a developed environment, fresh farm produce are available throughout the year. Such environments can feed the citizens conveniently. Improvement in transportation. Scientific knowledge is used in the invention of different automobiles such as vehicles, lorries, tractors used on the farm, aircraft, ships, and so on, to make movement convenient and safe. Man can get into his destination within a short period of time. We also have improvement in infrastructural facilities. Provision of basic needs such as potable water, construction of electricity, household needs are what the knowledge of science has produced, and that is why life is fully comfortable in developed countries. Every sector has witnessed the impact of science. What makes a country develop? Is Nigeria a developed country? Mention 3 areas that have witnessed the impact of science in your environment. Justify the improvement of science in your society. These are activities that I'm going to leave you with. Now, we move on to roles of science in the society. The following are the roles played by science in the society. 1. Creation of new knowledge. Improving the standard of living. Reduction of subjectivity. Promotion of objectivity. Promotion of accuracy. Preservation of scientific ethics. Production of peace. Saves lives. Preservation of life. Creation of new knowledge. Man's activities in a society on the surface of the earth in search for knowledge give rise to discoveries, new knowledge such as artificial intelligence, new apparatus, new ways of doing things, new products such as robots, new drugs, ultrasound, missiles, electricity, aircraft, phones, and computers. 2. Improving standard of living of members of the society. The production of new knowledge, technology, and material improve the standard of living of members of a society. People no longer depend on manual labor, but use modern machines to work. The society is no longer primitive, but modern. People no longer trek a long distance, but travel by cars, planes, rails, depending on the distance. They no longer cultivate land manually, but use mechanization and automation. People no longer live in mud houses, but in a duplex and mansion. They now ride the best cars, use modern technology to communicate, listen to news, live in a decent and clean environment, thus improving the lives of the people. Another role of science in the society is production of basic amenities. The knowledge of science produces basic amenities such as electricity generated from different sources such as water, solar, wind, among others. Education, hospitals, health facilities, road, food, accommodation, and everything man needs to make life enjoyable and comfortable are available. Reduction of stress is another role of science in the society. Provision of materials, machines help man to do their work by reducing stress and promoting good structure of living that makes man have good health and look good. Then this will lead us to attributes of science. Attributes of science. Attributes of science means quality or characteristics nature of science. Qualities or characteristics nature of science. They are objectivity, verifiability, honesty, precision, ethical neutrality, inquisitiveness, reliability, accuracy, openness, experimentation, and so on and so forth. We are going to consider only 5. Let's start with objectivity. It is the quality distinguishes science from non-science subjects. Science is objective. Objectivity is the ability to view or perceive facts, knowledge, objects as they are without any extra false influence. 2. Verifiability. The knowledge of science is primarily based on testing the authenticity or correctness of scientific information. For example, if you say a book mass is 10 kg, you need a measuring scale and put the book on the scale to read the mass directly from the scale while the book is resting on it. 3. Honesty. Scientific knowledge is truthful and honest. The knowledge holds under certain conditions. For example, if you say the volume of a liquid is 20 centimeter cube, verify or test if it will be exactly 20 centimeter cube. It will not be more or less than 20 centimeter cube. Scientific knowledge can never be false. It is always true. Another attribute is precision. The knowledge of science is precise, exact. For example, water boils at 100 degrees centigrade and freezes at 0 degrees centigrade. 3. Ethical neutrality. Science is ethically neutral. It seeks knowledge and explains it. It applies the knowledge to produce materials that are useful to man, and it solves man's problem. Science does not allow its value to distort the process of science. Another one is reliability. The knowledge of science is reliable. If a measurement is taken, the value remains the same anytime it is repeated under the same condition. In today's lesson, you have been exposed to the meaning of science according to different scholars. Importance of science in the society, roles of science and attributes of science. These areas of science are very important to every true scientist. You will learn more as we continue your study in other sections. Before I go, now that you have completed this study section, you can assess how well you have achieved in the learning outcomes by answering these questions. Write your answer in your diary or discuss them with me when next we meet. 1. Define science according to any two scholars you can remember. 2. Define science in your own words. 3. List and explain any 4 importance of science that you can remember. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.